Well, hey, church family, and a couple of different church families today. We've got a special interview today that we want to share with you. We have Chris and Stephanie Turpin. Chris is the pastor of Willowbrook Church in Staten Island. We as Calvary and Glendale, where Brother Barry Fields is now the new pastor. Somebody said that you are the fourth pastor of the Glendale Baptist Church, and so congratulations on that. The three of us, or the four of us, share the same origin and ministry. We have the same pastor, the same mentor. A few years apart. I'm a little bit older than these two guys, but the neat thing about the church that we grew up in are the relationships that we were able to just continue to gain, even after you left there, because of the Lord's work that was going on there. And so wanted to sit down with Barry and Chris and just talk about this work and how we can pray and how we can think about it. And so welcome, guys. Thank you all for being here. As we said, Chris is a church planter, went to Staten Island and planted a church. We at our church, as well as Glendale, had the opportunity to support the work and the ministry there. I showed you guys, this sits on my bookshelf, and I'm a real visual person, and so I need cues that tell me and help me to pray for individuals. And so I see that from time to time, and just pray for you guys and lift you up. And I'm so grateful for the work that the Lord is doing there. And so if you guys can just say just a little bit what it's like as believers who are just living in New York City right now at the epicenter of this and in the U.S. and some of the things that we don't see on the news that you're just kind of having to deal with on a daily basis.
A lot of our experience right now is based on just feel and general sentiment. We don't get out very much. We did drive. Stephanie was excited yesterday because we went on a drive to a pizzeria, and we drove halfway across the island, and it was like we hadn't seen that part of the island in a while. It was kind of just fun to see something besides our campus here. But I think the general sentiment among people is there's a lot of fear, and most of that is based on most of it's probably based on death, and then the other is financial fear. People afraid that we won't come out of it financially. We do know at least one it's Christopher, one of his good friends, her father passed away a few days ago with COVID, and so that makes it more real. And then trying to think about responding. We had a lady today who her blood pressure was high, and I might have needed to take her to the hospital, and she has two sons, and that's it, like a young woman. And just thinking through that, anticipating doing that was a little scary because it's pretty widespread here. And thankfully she was able to do teledoc, and she's able to get her prescriptions. And so there's not really a lot of ways that people are interacting except the same way we're doing here. So we had a Bible study today on Zoom with some of the average age on the Zoom was 70 probably. Wow. During our daytime Bible study. And then we have a nighttime Bible study with some of our younger people, and there's younger people on the daytime one also, but more young people. And so we've continued meeting like that. I don't know other things we might add to that. Stephanie's homeschooling now, basically everybody. We didn't ever want to homeschool because we didn't feel that was for us at the time, but we don't have a choice now, and that's true for everybody, I guess. Some of the things we're experiencing, the same things you're experiencing, except we're experiencing it probably pretty strongly compared. I think people in Kentucky right now are feeling the way we felt 3 weeks ago. Like, is this really a big deal? Is it really probably going to affect us that much? But you're seeing more every day. I hope that other places don't experience it the way we are.
Right.
But you might.
Yeah. And Chris, jumping off of that, because I had the privilege of being with you guys on Staten Island this past spring, seeing what the Lord is doing there. I mean, you've got more diversity on your front row than most people will have within 10 to 15 mile radius, or even in their entire town. Multiple languages spoken, great ministry potential, but also some unique challenges with the density of the population. What's been the the greatest struggle for you in trying to minister to your people and to your family?
People long to be with one another. That's the greatest struggle. But I've actually seen, we had 9 men on a Zoom call. When we came to this church 2 years ago, 2017, August 2017, there were men here, but there weren't that many men leading. And we had 9 men on a Zoom call, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before that, divvying up the congregation for shepherding groups. And I have men who are making phone calls each day and reaching out by text and that sort of thing. So as far as the congregation itself, this has forced us to be connected in a way that we probably should have been already. So it's really an opportunity. The greatest struggle is not being able to physically see people. That's, and we have a lot of, as you said, we're very diverse. And so a lot of the cultures that are in our congregation, they love to hug and fellowship and be near, and pretty much everybody does. But that's what they're complaining the most about. Like, they so want to see one another, can't see one another face to face. So they enjoy the Zoom calls, though.
Yeah. So how long have you guys been in New York City now?
5 years.
Be 5 years, August 19th. So yeah, we're in, and we feel like real New Yorkers now because you guys in Kentucky don't want us to come home for spring break.
Okay.
So we're not welcome in Kentucky anymore. So we have to be New Yorkers now, right?
Yeah.
I called my dad up, and he didn't really seem excited. And apparently, Bashir there doesn't want us coming home.
He doesn't want us traveling anywhere either. So yeah, so we're kind of
weird.
Yeah. Chris, certainly churches want to pray for the work of the Lord, and our churches here at Calvary and Glendale want to lift you guys up. What are some ways that we can pray for you right now, as well as going forward and knowing the work there and the diversity that's there and the challenges that you face on a regular basis?
Well, I want to mention one specific one, and people can get on our Willowbrook Church, at Willowbrook NY is our Facebook page. And our website is willowbrookny.org. willowbrookny.org. But if you get on our Facebook page, you can see a video today done by the local newspaper, Staten Island newspaper. There's 600,000 people on Staten Island. It's 55 square miles. It's one of the 5 boroughs of New York City, and we're kind of island to ourselves. So this paper is very Staten Island specific. One of the things I felt led to do this past week was when our property is right on a main road. Think Scottsville Road in Bowling Green. Okay, it's the main thoroughfare. It's got the mall and everything on it. And there are, well, when it's normal, hundreds of thousands of people drive by our church every day. So when I was coming back the other day from the park, I thought we needed to put something out front that would communicate to the people of Staten Island. And we built a sign, just the letters, HOPE, hope, and then we put a cross above it. And so we've got a hope sign out front. And I'm hoping that will be provoke people to know that we actually are part of the community and care about them, that we know where they can find hope, that it will trigger and cause them to search. And on our sign next to it, we have our website and all those sorts of things. And then I'll have wisdom on how to navigate. So when I was interacting with the guy, I didn't try to be too pushy, but I did tell people we knew where to find hope and that they were welcome here, and that, if they had prayer requests, we'd be glad to pray for them. And, so pray that the hope sign will get some traction among Staten Islanders, and at least know that they'll know if they want to know more, if they want hope, if they need somebody to pray for them, or a church that will be there for them, that they'll recognize that this is at least one place that they could turn to, come, so that they can know Jesus Christ and find hope.
I guess we were watching that news story on Facebook Live, but they kept on showing that sign. That was really neat to see and hear him reference at the end of that. So, before we pray, just want to, anybody that's watching this, any churches that are watching, just want to challenge you to lift up these guys and the Willowbrook Church there. If you're looking for a ministry support, This is a great place for mission dollars to go and invest in the work of the gospel. Great thing about having Barry here, this will go to my 500 friends and then his 5,000 friends today. And so be able to see that all over Facebook. And so we're so glad you guys took the time. We want to pray for you. Barry, if you'll just pray for Chris and Stephanie and the church there and for their family and for all those that minister in New York City, as well as churches everywhere that are faced with a unique day.
Let me just echo what David says as well. Chris and Stephanie have a missions house on the property there on Staten Island, $25 a night. You can literally take a bus in front of their church and get to downtown Manhattan in 45 minutes or less for about $6. You can go a couple miles down to the Staten Island ferry and ride into lower Manhattan for free. But the great thing is, one of the greatest cities in the world, and they have an opportunity to reach more people per square inch with unreached people than we may ever be able to reach. And so I want to encourage anybody who's watching this, whether you're Calvary or Glendale or another church, partner with these folks, do mission trips. They can use you. It's time and money well invested and well spent. So with that said, let's have a word of prayer. Father, I am thankful for the privilege to get to talk with Chris and Stephanie. Thank you for the ministry of Pastor David and our shared ministry under the umbrella of how God used Richard Oldham in each of our lives. And I just pray right now for the people of Staten Island, for the people of New York, for the pandemic that is saturated right in the heart of where they seek to serve. Lord, I pray that in the midst of anxiety and fear, that you would bring healing and that you would bring hope.
Yes.
Thank you that there's a sign right in the middle of the heart of one of the greatest cities in the world, telling people that there is hope in the cross of Christ. Lord, I lift up Chris and Stephanie to you personally, lift up their family, their 5 kids, one of whom's a senior this year in high school, affecting his schooling, affecting the other kids as well. I pray that you would bless them as they seek to serve you. Bless this church. Help us during this time to realize just how dependent on you we are. And out of this, I pray that you would bring awakening. I pray that seeds of gospel opportunity would be sown and that the kingdom would be advanced. And I ask these things in Jesus' name for his sake. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you guys for taking some time today.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Really.
God bless you.